and we'll get rid of that. Let's see. We already got Tom and Jerry is in the house. Was surprised that Steve is going to do live tonight. I know that he has been sick. I am still sick, but I figured I'd do it tonight no matter what. We'll just do a shorter version tonight, but I wanted to do it tonight no matter what. Paul Ostow says, howdy campers. Yo, Sinfuls. Sinfuls says, little bit. Sinfuls, I am myself fighting a nasty head cold. It's going around. A lot of people have it here. So Sinfuls says, hi, Paul. Dean is in the house. He says, hey, brother Rich. So I have sniffles tonight, guys, and I have a cough. So, but I wanted to do this because, you know, we every so often we skip, and it's getting lately that I don't know if we're in cold season or whatever, but I keep getting colds and coughs, and otherwise I wouldn't be on here at all. Either that or it's allergies. It's just like last week and the week before. And I actually just took an allergy pill too, because I have that also. But Tom and Jerry in the Philippines says, you guys need some province living, fresh, clean air, LOL. Sinfuls, I live in a clean area and nice and green. Sinfuls lives in a really awesome area. It's really, really nice there. He says he can't be near pollution. I'm not sure that that's part of my problem, because where I live, there's not a lot of pollution. I will say that. Out in the streets there is, but I live kind of down back in the jungle. You guys have seen it online. Paul Ostow says, LOL like an Abra, soon to retire time. Dean says, where you at, Tom and Jerry, in the Philippines? Dean, he is actually in Mindanao. Tom and Jerry, I get allergies, and when neighbors burn trash, drives me crazy. Let's see. Paul Osterhout says, 11 months, 27 days. Yes, I am counting. Let's see. Sinful says, haha. Paul, good. At least you have a timeline and a goal you meet. These are... Let's see, we got Dean says, Paul Ostow, it will be here before you know. You guys must have had a long conversation before I get on here. Let's see. Paul Ostow, yes, sir. Big house was paying off 4 years ago. Tom and Jerry says, Pig Kauaian in Mindanao Central. He lives out in the boonies. I've seen some videos. He lives in a cool place, though. Dean says, hey, Steve, hope all is well. I'm doing better. I'm doing better. I had a bad cough, and I still have like a tickle here, so I keep having the cough, and I do have the allergies going on, the cold, and it hasn't been good, but it is what it is. Brady Grady says, hi, Sinfuls, already 20 watchers. Let's hit that thumbs up. Thanks, folks. That's amazing that we started up that quick tonight. We're already at 27, and plus we have 7 thumbs up. But you got to deal with my sniffles and stuff, guys. So Fader says, just on to say hi. I'm up from Pangasan, close to Lingayen. Craig Otten says, plus gives me the thumbs up. Donald Stiles says, greetings, Steve. But anyway, guys, let's get this started. If any questions or subjects, we'll leave it open tonight. Again, I think that's a good idea to leave it open. And we can talk about expat stuff. If you're new on here, it's kind of like a little bit different. We usually talk about expat subjects, but not always. It doesn't have to be. We can talk about anything you guys want, and I'm open. But if somebody comes on and they want to ask expat questions, obviously put it up, and we're okay with that. That's what this channel is about. But you know, just to keep it interesting, we talk about just about anything. Donald Stiles says, greetings, Steve. James Franklin, do y'all use Navy Federal? There are a lot of people that use Navy Federal, yes. Travel Discovery is on board. Hello, Steve and everyone. I finally tried Army Navy. It was good. Yes, it is. It's very good. Travel Discovery, make sure you give me that call on Tuesday and we'll set up that appointment. Travel Discovery is going to actually do a video on SRRV, and I'm working with her to get that going so that she does it right. And it should be really interesting. Let's see, Sinful says, open, except politics. Yes, Sinful is right. That's why I got him for a moderator. Hold on, guys. I gotta get a tissue for a second. Cinder, can you get me a tissue, please? Phaedra says, I run up to Bellino yesterday. We went to a public beach. Thanks, Cedric. Let's see. We went to a public beach. It really wasn't all that great. Clear water, lots of stones in the water off the beach. Dean says, hey, Steve, how are you looking for folks going to Vikings? Many spots left. I think we got 2 spots left. So if you know somebody, Dean, as far as I know right now, we have either 2 or 4. I'm not sure. But if you want to fill it in tomorrow, let me know. RLV says, hi, Steve from BGC High Street. Brady Grady says, 100% VA disability pay, but I have a truck payment and motorcycle payment. If I want to retire in the Philippines just at the end of the year, should I just let the bank take them back? No. Just either pay them off or sell them. You might even be able to live over there if you haven't. Over here, if you have enough money, just live low and pay them off or whatever. Or keep them if you're gonna keep them. Sinful says, Brian Grady, we're the current market. You should be able to sell no issues. No, not at all. I mean, I know that there actually is a markup on used cars from what I understand. John Ross, Steve, the SRRV pension requirement of $800 or the $1,000 per month lifetime pension, does that only applies to vet disability? I believe it's $1,000 per month. I'm pretty sure, unless they've changed it or something like that. It's $1,000 per month. Every time we talk about it at the PRA, we mentioned 1,000, not 800. I'm not sure where you came up with the 800. Maybe they have an old thing still up on the PRA site, but it's usually 1,000. But some people say it's 800. But from what I understand, when me and Mary Rose talk, we always say it's 1,000. Does that only applies to vet disability and regular vet pension, not Social Security pension? It's all your pensions. If all your pensions add up to 1,000 per month, all you need to do is get one of those certified and apostilled. Okay, John, if you need to call me, it sounds like you need to have a talk with me before you start this stuff. I recommend that you call me, okay? And you can, I'm not gonna give my number out on here, but I'll give you my email. It's steven5975@yahoo.com, okay? Let me see. Let me just, excuse me for a second, guys. As I said, I have to use a tissue here. Let's see. Sorry, guys. Let's see here. And Walleye says 364. I heard onion prices are like gold in the Philippines. It's almost like the price of steak. Yes, we got 43 people. 20 thumbs up. Thank you, guys. I'm sorry for the breaks I'm going to have to take. James Franklin says auto market is in the trash. Okay, so it did go down finally. Interesting. Fader says, I noticed that your Tagalog, the way you pronounce the names of places around there isn't that good. No, it's not. I guess you haven't been around the Philippines 40 years like I have. I've been around 5 years here, okay? 5 years here. I was married to a Filipina for 10 years. I've been with my girlfriend now for almost 10 years now, I think. I've been here before. It's just that I never even bothered trying to pronounce those words. So, Paul Osterhout says, sorry, I can't make to TGIF get together, still on a dollars contract. I'm flying my darling here for a 3-month visit. Okay, that's okay. Justin May says, hey Steve, can you please talk briefly about the current vax requirements for entering the Philippines? If you didn't get the vax, apparently you can still get in, from what I know. I'm not really up on this, guys, so you guys always hit me up with this tourist thing because we always do the SRRV. I think if coming in now, I'm not really sure, to be honest with you. I forget what the last one was. Maybe we'll have Sinfuls look that up for us. I think he might even know himself. He'll put that up for you, okay, Justin? That I'm not sure about, but I know Sinfuls does because he mentioned it last time. I can't remember what he said. Brian Grady says, I'm upside down on the truck. Okay, yeah, then you might just want to let it go. That's a judgment call, I guess. Phaedra says, bully now. Okay, Sinfuls, Brian Grady, I see. Tom and Jerry, onion prices 400 pesos per kilo in Mindanao. They were 800 around here. James Franklin, Tesla cut the price of Y. That's good. Let's see, we have 53 people, 24 thumbs up. Brian Grady, I thought about keeping the bike and shipping it to the Philippines. I wouldn't ship a bike or anything to the Philippines, especially a car or vehicle. From what I understand, I would not. Even Sinful says, Brian Grady, shipping vehicles is expensive and difficult. Depends on year of your bike also. Dean Thompson says, Brian Grady, it gets way too costly to ship in the Philippines. So that's a good thing about here on the live stream here. Whatever I can't answer, usually other people will answer sometimes on here, and that's a huge help, guys. I mean, I don't have all the answers. I know a lot of stuff here, but the tourist visa is not one of my specialties. Phaedrus, yeah, onions are expensive right now. I can get that, and they are very puny. One bag P600 equals $12. Yeah. Michael, good evening, Michael. How you doing? Dickie Spaz says eggs are the new toilet paper. Brian Grady says Sinfuls. It's a 2021 HD Sportster. Interesting. Nice bike. BT and Betty says howdy. James Franklin Ford electric truck costs $42,000. The markup was $38,000. They are taking new vehicles straight to the auction. Wow. Barry Holiday says they are not vaccines, they are therapeutics. Yeah. Robert Mindanao says, yoo-hoo. Sinfuls, he gave the embassy for the COVID shot, so you guys will know. Thanks for, Sinfuls, thanks for looking that up, because I'm not quite sure on what the last word on that was. Michael Lagasse says, thumbs up back to you, man. Dean Thompson says, Dickie Spaz, that makes hearing the chickens outside worth it, huh? Yeah. RC in Jacksonville, never send a car to Philippines unless you're rich. Import tax is a crime. Something like $18,000 to ship a $15,000 car. So there's the word on that. Paul Gibson says, hi, Steve. Is solar power a big thing? Yes. Where you are. Do you get solar units to help your power costs? Does the government give rebates for this like we have in Australia? No, not that I know of, they do not. I mean, especially for people like us over here, because we wouldn't get those rebates. Probably the Filipinos would. But as far as solar power, yes, I do use solar power a little bit. I have 3 big solar lamps outside. Actually 4. One's broken. I got to get a new one. They're not that expensive. As far as the big solar panels that you're talking about, we have Francisco who solar powers his house like 80%, I believe, something like that. He doesn't have the batteries for it though. So during the day, he's running off all that solar power. So during the day, he doesn't care if he has all the ACs running and everything. He doesn't care. But it's kind of nice having that, I guess. And he really enjoys having all the extra power. But yes, a lot of people do have solar power here. Sinful says, my eggs were about $3 for 2 dozen extra large. That's not that bad. Celtic Nomad, good afternoon from Sofia City, Bulgaria. That's an interesting place. RC in Jacksonville, even shipping a car from Manila to Palawan is over $1,000. That's actually really expensive. Michael L., the custom duties on cars and bikes are extremely high. Justin in Arkansas is here. Justin is my neighbor. And as you guys know, he's also one of the fellow contributors in here. He will be contributing probably in the next few days. VFam TV channel keeps up on latest entry requirements. If not 3 COVID vax, then testing. I know they do the testing, but I'm not sure. I think with the unvaxxed, I believe, what I remember last time, but don't quote me on this, is that you can come in here, but you have to get tested when you get here or just before you left. That was what I heard last. But this past week, I haven't heard anything. I know Sinfuls put it up, so we can you guys can just look at that. But Justin, thanks for putting that out there. M Atmosphere, leaving the Philippines tomorrow at 6 p.m. back to the UK. Well, hopefully you'll be back, man. See, 63 people, 33 thumbs up. Dean Thompson says, Sinfuls, that's a great price for eggs. Actually, it isn't that bad. That's actually we have an egg place right down the street. I don't know what they charge for 2 dozen. Dickie Spez says, Dean, thump, huh? BT and Betty's Philippines Adventures. Yeah, Tom, she does well on updates. George Rivera, used car prices in the U.S. are falling off their previous high, so sell now before they dip more. Michael L. says, those who are not vaccinated have to take the COVID test. Yes, just get vaccinated so you don't have to get swabbed in the nose. Yeah, most of the people, there's a large group of people here, Michael, and I met one the other day, and I've met quite a few of them. that don't like to get vaccinated, and they won't get vaccinated. They refuse to. And I can understand that because I really didn't want to get vaccinated either, and I wish I never did. But it is what it is. Phaedra says 4 weeks more here. Frankly, I really want to be back home. This has not been a nice visit. I think it will be my last. Sorry to hear that, man. Sorry to hear that. I know some people have a hard time here, and it's understandable. And some people are just not made for the Philippines, and they're really not, you know. Paul Osterhout says, Steve, take your meds and vitamin C. I take lots of vitamin C and lots of juice too. Got to go, but happy trails, folks. Thanks, Paul. And we'll keep you on our list, man. Okay, don't worry. You're on our list. So, if you leave, you come back or whatever, you're always on our list. I think you said earlier that you were leaving or whatever. James Franklin, Chinese car stocks, NIO have tanked since Tesla cut prices. Tesla's supposed to go up this year, according to what people are saying. I hope it does, but I'm not in Tesla right now since I'm not in the stock market since they took me out. Dean Thompson says there are 2 huge solar farms in Luzon that are in construction. One up in northern Luzon and a big floating farm in Laguna Bay. You know, those floating farms would be kind of cool because it would keep the water cool too in the shade. I'm sure the fish would probably love that stuff. BT and Betty's Philippine Adventures. The Philippines are not for everyone. No, they're not. Dickie Spaz says, bye, Paul. Rick's Destination, married to my wife living in Ohio, 3 visits to Cebu to meet and bring my wife back. Your channel always gives practical advice and can save a guy tons of headaches. Let's see. Donald Stiles says, could you have a short discussion, preferences of retirement in Thailand versus the Philippines? I really don't know that much about Thailand. I know it's a little bit more expensive for housing, okay? Do they have cheap housing like the Philippines does? Yes, I do know that from talking to people that have been there. I've talked to quite a few people that have been there. The big difference is the cleanliness and the food, okay? They say that the food is better over there than the Filipino food, and it's fresher, and there's a lot more vegetables over there. Housing is cleaner, nicer, better. A lot more pools are over there in certain areas. That's what I've heard, okay? And that's the difference. The girls don't speak English. There's a lot of communication gaps over there. You get a little bit of that over here, but not as much. That's why most people prefer the Philippines. Now, can you get nice housing around here? Yes, of course you can. You just got to look around and move into nice areas. If you want to get the same feel here in the Philippines as in Thailand, I would say move to Alabang or Makati or BGC, but it's going to be expensive. Celtic Nomad says, can you get lithium batteries there for solar? Yes, you can. Sinfuls, yes. If you can listen to her going from English to Tagalog and back, haha, yes. Sperlin Edwards says, hello from Iloilo. How you doing, Sperlin? Regular guy says, Steve, if you didn't want the vax, why did you do it? I did it because it was a pain at the malls, and the way they were talking here, I just said, I'm just going to go get it. I wouldn't have been able to go into the malls at all. It was haircuts, things like that. I just said, I'm just going to go get it. And if I needed to get on a plane for an emergency or something like that, I'd be able to get on. It wasn't that big of a deal in the end, but I still just didn't want to take it. Boohoo, I'll take the test. They can shove their jabs. Okay. I mean, I respect everybody's belief in that. That's just the way I feel. I mean, some people feel that way. I didn't want to get it, but I took it. Celtic Nomad says, moving to retire in the Philippines this year. Tom and Jerry in the Philippines. We had our own chickens and ducks here and fresh eggs most mornings. Talked to my niece in Maryland today, and she said $9 per dozen, but $11 for organic. That's crazy. I mean, I remember when I left the States, it was like $1.99 or something like that for a dozen eggs. At least in Massachusetts, because we had a lot of farms there. See, Alan Ricky says, with Elon Musk, hopefully we'll build 1 million tiny homes in the Philippines. Elon Musk is a really smart man. And if we just do half of what he does, for the world, I think we'll be in a better spot, Man, the things he could do for the world, and I hate that the fact that the Democrats attack him, because I think he could he could do so much, and it's stuff that they want too, and Republicans want. That's the funny part. Vader says, yeah, my stomach is not made for the Philippines. Just today, my third round of diarrhea. Fetus, I had that problem in the beginning. I had to build up an immunity. I just took the ammonium D a lot, and that kind of solved it. Dickie Spaz says, "Hey Scott, what's up? Boo hoo, regular guy. What? Who took out the? Who took you out of the stock market, Steve? I was on Ameritrade, TD Ameritrade, and they because I live in the Philippines, they took me out. So they sent me a letter, and that was the end of that. So, regular guy, hey Dickie and boohoo guys. Sinful says that at the time for me, I had to get to keep my job and get into the Philippines, but no more jabs for me. Dickie Spaz says markets have rebounded nicely, but for the past few months. Michael L says Tagalog is easier to learn than Thai. Probably, yeah. Thai is very hard. Tom and Jerry in the Philippines. I'm missing Chinese food in the United States. Deep fried chicken fingers, shrimp, egg foo young. Yeah, we got Panda Express near us, so I don't worry too much about that. It's American Chinese food, but we have some of that. And anybody that goes to Panda Express in the Philippines knows that it's not real full-on Chinese food, but it is American Chinese food, which is kind of cool. So you get the fried rice and some of the other things, sweet and sour chicken. The passport, bro. I sold all my cars, but the SRRV, don't you get one-time exemption of $7,000? I would like to bring small 1959 MGA in as a roller and repower it here. Yes, you do. Okay, as far as older cars and getting them registered, from what I understand, it's very difficult to register antique cars here. People do. I'm not sure how they do it though. Okay, they might have been on the road for a long time here, but if you try to put an old car on the road, it has to meet certain specs, and I'm not sure if they would let you put an imported older car on the road. People do it, but I don't know how. So that I'm not sure about. Ronald Homeboy says, welcome to the Philippines, Steve. I've been here for a while, so I don't know why the welcome. Barbara Calhoun's, hey, still working on our paperwork. Seems that it sure is taking a long time to get our DD-214s mailed to us. It has been around 3 weeks now. Hope you get over your sniffle soon. Thanks, man. Thanks, Barbara. I appreciate that. If you have any problems, Barbara, you can always call me. Just send me an email and I'll give you my number. I think we talked already in the past, but I talked to so many people. Justin in Arkansas says import a vehicle have an age rule. See, that's what I'm talking about. Sperlin Edwards, my beautiful girlfriend, Panga, wants you to say hi to her. How you doing, Panga? Let's see. Sinful says the passport, bro. Yes, you do, but that generally relates to household goods. A vehicle, especially that old, would be very difficult. Yes, I wouldn't bother. Also, it has to be able to move on its own. That would be considered part. Yes. You better off finding a car over here, because there are cars over here, and I believe most of them are registered too, so you can keep them on the road, but they need a lot of work, and finding parts is going to be difficult over here. You'd have to have them shipped. Celtic Nomad, is it okay there now for non-jabbers? Yes. I believe it's still the rules that it was like a week or two ago, that you can come in here and you just take the test, and that's it. They do the swab test or whatever they do. I don't know. I'm not sure which one. But yeah, it's easy to come in here. Let's see. Dean says, when we left our farm a year ago, farm fresh eggs were $4 a dozen. But 2 days ago, my neighbor back home says they are selling them for $10 a dozen. That's crazy, man. Lloyd White says, making a visa run to Hanoi and you get injured. Try the Hanoi French hospital. Had great surgery, and I'm back in the States. That's great, man. Bill 02, Ameritrade took you out. What did they do? Sell your stocks and send you a check? No, they didn't. They told me I could leave it there, but after a certain date, I wouldn't be able to sell it on my own. I'd have to ask for permission. And I'm not going to ask anybody for permission, so I sold. And I actually didn't sell at a gain either. So, but I had I had taken a lot of gains. I had made a lot of money off of Tesla already. So I was kind of okay with it because I didn't take much of a loss, and those gains more than made up, and then some. Clarissa Gomez says, "Hi Steve, I'm thinking of going to the Philippines towards the end of this year. We've been getting a lot of women on here. This is kind of cool. And is November a good time to go? I know it rains, but I heard the worst rain is on August and October. Yes. November is really not a bad month for rain, usually. Now that can, you can have a bad year, I guess, but yes, November's not bad, especially around Luzon. And if you ever need to talk to me, Clarissa, Clarissa, just let me know, and I'll if you have any questions with help or anything like that, just email me, ask me for my phone number, and I'll send it to you, and I'll answer all your questions. Rick's Destination Cebu, traveled for work for years, crappy food for years. I never had any problem, even with the street food there. Wife made sure I only drank any fluid from a sealed bottle. Never had any issues. Sinful says, Steven5975 at yahoo.com. Thanks, Sinfuls. Appreciate it. Dean Thompson says, regular guy, where are you at these days? I've seen a few of your videos. Let's see. I've heard about this regular guy. I haven't seen any of your videos, so I'm sorry to say. I'll have to check them out sometimes. I have heard good things about your videos, though. And I'm not afraid to say that because, vloggers should be about helping people, helping other vloggers too, and I'm all about that. And if you ever need any help or anything, let me know. James Franklin, stock market is rigged with some price manipulation, bottom selling, and buying after hours. Then they have a second offering once concert is an example. Fred Walker says, I put off retirement until next March. I'll be splitting my time between there and Virginia. That's cool. That's a cool way to have a retirement. I know some other people that do stuff like that. Michael L says, if non-vaccinated fails the swab test, they get a 5-day mandatory quarantine. Yes, that is true. I remember hearing that a while back, but I wasn't totally sure. That's why I said somebody better look it up, because I hadn't read that in a while. So it's good that nothing has changed. Bijan Bain says, hey, from Miami Beach, you're from Lawrence. My father and his mom were from Haverhill. That's the next town over. I actually worked in Haverhill for a while. I used to work over there doing therapeutic mentoring with a lot of children from Haverhill, and also from Lawrence too, and a lot of other towns. Celtic Nomad says, Steve, what's your location without giving too much away? I'm in Tracy Martirez City. I actually live right near the mayor. There's no hiding where I live anymore. You just look it up in Google. Just Google the channel, and it shows up right where I live. I'm not, it's on there now. So I don't know who put it on there, but it is. James, unvaxxed, take the test before departure. Yes, that's the best way to do it, I heard. The passport, bro, I would just like to bring this MGA because it's small and rare, and I will never find one there. I have shipped them all over the world, fairly reasonable because of the size. Okay. Let's see. Phaedra says, Clarice Gomez, I arrived here this weekend before Thanksgiving. It was still pretty warm, hot first couple of weeks. Actually, it's been cool here, so I can't speak for every place else, but I know here it's actually been kind of cold. It's starting to get a little bit sticky and humid here, actually, but it wasn't hot. Travel Discovery, when you go to LTO, can you get a driver's license the same day? They usually give you a card, but there is some rules. I think you have to be here like 60 days or something like that, and you have to have your ACR card, I'm pretty sure, when you go in there. I've never gone with somebody with the tourist visa, so I can't speak that much to it. I've gone there with people from, with the SRRV, the PRA people, and the PRA actually goes with us, and they facilitate and speed it up a little bit, and they give them a copy of their license the same day. And I think actually I might have even I think I got my license the same day, but I know some people have had to wait. So I'm not sure how that works, because I know some people did get some of them pretty quickly, and other people had to wait. But some people get a card, and then they send it to you. It's usually really fast. Just the Bill says, found this on brokerages for expats. I think I am going to go with Charles Schwab before I move over because of the ATM access on the checking as well. Well, Charles Schwab, if you're doing a brokerage thing there, I think you might have the same problem I had because Charles Schwab is Ameritrade. So keep that in mind. They did close me down, and they found out even though I had a main address. So Sinful's Travel Discovery, yes. If you go to Quaison's 8 LTO, you can get it in less than 3 hours. Yeah, it's really quick. Yeah, Sinful's has gone up there, so he would know. But I usually go up there with SRRV people, and they fast track us sometimes. So I think that's why. Phaedrus, it was cool and comfortable after a rain in December, but it heated back up again in the 90s. But so, like I said, some of those people, I think they had to wait to get their license, but they gave them the card, and some of them didn't. And I'm not sure why. Maybe the machine was not being used at the time, and they spit it out fast, and they just gave it to them. I'm not sure. Just the bill 02 doesn't look like it will let me paste a link. Okay. Sinfuls, I am on a tourist visa at the moment. Yes, I had my ACR card after 60 days, so it took me 3 hours. Yes, I did a copy, then mailed in about 10 days. Yeah, I know it's pretty fast when they mail it. So Sinfuls just kind of verified what I said. But some people did get them when they were there, from what I understand. That might have been a while ago, though, because I do recall that. Justin, in Arkansas, I started application for State Department Credit Union. Found out that I needed to upload a picture of actual Social Security card, which I do not have with me. Well, Justin, remember to get that when you're home. Travel Discovery, Sinfuls, thanks. Let's see. John Rocker, Schwab took me out because I live in the Philippines. There we go. John is another one. Yeah, because Charles Schwab and Ameritrade are the same. Sinful says, my Charles Schwab still active. Sinfuls, I have address in Texas. See, I had mine in Maine, and they still figured out because of where I was checking it from with the IP address or something like that. There was some other things that might have tipped them off too, but I'm not sure. Sinfuls, yes, they are getting new on-demand machines to print license. Okay. Let's see. Celtic Nomad. Steve, is the area of Dumaguete a good place to live? Also, does it have province nearby? As building contractor for 40 years, would like to build my own home. Yes, absolutely. Down there, there's just about everywhere. You don't have to go far to find, like jungle here or province or whatever. Dumaguete's a nice area by itself. Would I move there? I think there's too many expats there now. So that's and I think I don't want to be one to judge, but I hear a lot of bad stories down there. I'll just say that, okay? Sinfuls, I log in from here, no issues. RLV, check out plane ticket prices in PAL, Cebu, Pacific, Air Asia will lower prices due to lower fuel surcharges in compliance with PH government orders. So that's good. Let's hope that would be great, because I had heard that they want to get 5 million Western tourists in here this year. Okay, in 2023, the Philippines is looking to bring in 5,000 tourists. That was in the news the other day. So that's probably true. They're probably going to try to push down the ticket prices. So that's a good thing for all you guys coming in and leaving and coming back. Barbara Calhoun, we are thinking of using USAA to help up with the ATM fees. I have Metro Credit Union back in Chelsea, Massachusetts, and let me tell you something. They reimburse me for everything. Every time I take money out, all the ATM fees right back in my account at the end of the month. Kate Fox says, hi, Stephen. Hope you're fine. I'm doing good. Thank you. Sinful says, Barbara Calhoun, USA is my primary account. Dickie Spaz says, I'm not taking a loan under any circumstances, but it's being reported Navy Federal Credit Union granting auto loans in the Pinas. That's interesting. They should. And I wouldn't, Dickie, that sounds like something that company would do, because I've heard a lot of good things about Navy Federal Credit Union even when I was in the Navy. So I could see that. Sinful says, works well. Dean Thompson in the Philippines. I'm in the Philippines on Balikbayan. Don't mind helping if there is any questions regarding that. Not a whole lot to know really. This channel was very instrumental in helping us prepare. Thank you. Thanks, Dean. Edward Lawler, USAA and Navy Federal take care of many ATM fees for us vets who bank on them. For any of you guys that are doing the, if you're trying to get a girl back home, I do know how to do that. Okay, like a marriage visa or something like that. If you want to get somebody back to the United States, I actually have a way to get help that will help do all the paperwork for you and everything, and it's very reasonable too. It's through the International Institute back in Lawrence, Massachusetts, and they do that for people. So if you guys are ever looking to do a, the marriage visa or the fiance visa, just call me and I'll give you all the information. It's very simple. Edward Lawler, USAA and Navy Federal take care of many ATM fees for U.S. vets who bank with them. And Travel Discovery, if you have a federal credit union dollar account, is there an advantage to getting a dollar account here in the Philippines? Let's see. Is there an advantage? The dollar accounts are mainly for people that are having dollars sent here, like from a pension or something like that. That's the way that works. Okay, so that's why you would do a dollar account. And dollar accounts are also, people use them to flip back and forth when money changes are going on, and they can kind of use that to make money sometimes, believe it or not. So it's and not just that, if you get checks, it's easy to cash checks, but you have to wait 30 days. Okay, Celtic Nomad says, Steve, 10/10 for answering questions. Some channels just ignore questions. Well done, buddy. Good channel. Thanks, Celtic. Sinfuls, Travel Discovery, if you're able, yes, good to transfer into. RLV is on board, and he says 5 million foreign tourist target for PH 2023. That's what I was just saying. That's an interesting little, target that they have there. Passport Bros says Celtic Nomad Justin Carmack is getting land you can safely lease from him in Dawn, close to Duma. Let's see. Sinful says, on another note, I am taking a 9-day trip to El Nido and Coron in upcoming months. Glenn Hartwick says, I'm coming to Naval Billaran either March or April 2023. Sounds good, Glenn. That's a good plan. Frederick Walker says, I'm a Platinum Honors customer with Bank of America Merrill Lynch. Are they going to kick me out too? Banks do that too. Just FYI. Some banks, you're better off getting into a credit union, because they don't. They have different banking rules. Some people do have those accounts. I would keep an address there if you're going to do that. But yes, they can kick you out. So just FYI on that. That's something to think about all the time. Most banks do not. Okay? But some do. If they have a way of seeing that you're over here all the time, they might. Okay? Because they have done that. But the credit unions don't. Like I said, different banking rules. So John Rocker says, dollar account is good when the peso is falling. Celtic Nomad, the Passport Bro, thanks for the info, buddy. Running Man 21, U.S. car market has slowed considerably due to economy. That's interesting to know, because I was hearing it was hot still in some sections. Glenn says, I'm retired Army National Guard, 55 years old. There you go, man. Thanks for serving. Sinful says, Glenn Hartwick, great, thanks for your service. Glenn Howard, I have a USAA, Wells Fargo, just to be safe. Celtic Nomad, the Passport Bro, do you have a channel? John Rocker, dollar was 42 pesos, now 54. Yes. Let's see. Let me just have a drink here. Let's see. He said it was 42. Yeah, it was 9 years ago. The Passport Bro says Celtic, yes, but small channel, but good for fun. Justin Carmack is a good channel to watch. Rory Bellamy, is there any efforts to house homeless people there? Yes, there is. There's actually quite a lot of people, and one of them is Manny Pacquiao builds a lot of houses for the homeless here. And yes, they do try to house people here. In fact, there's a big effort in the Philippines, I think, to house people here. They build a lot of houses for the poor here. That's one thing that's really good about the Philippines, is they give them the house. They physically give them that house, which is awesome. Sun Moon says, just watch Regular Guy. You should watch before endorsing. He hooks with a lot of women. Okay, good to know. But yeah, it's not. Yeah, that's his type of channel. I can't. I'm not. I've heard some good things about the guy though too. So I'm not gonna knock the guy because of that. But it's not. That's not my type of channel. Obviously, you guys know that. Sinful says USAA is good with living here in the Philippines. They know I live here, and I talked to them. They specifically told me not an issue. Okay, good. That's good. Celtic Nomad says leave your money at home in your home country or move to the Philippines. Yes, I would say leave your money at home and take it out of the bank as needed and transfer it into your account over here. But still have some money in here. Have like 5,000 or something here or whatever you up no more than 9,000 here. Okay, Sinful says Rory Bellamy, not a huge effort. Those that suffer from disaster, yes, definitely. Lazy, I would say. I would kind of disagree with that, Sinfuls, because I see a lot of the houses in Tracy Martera's that are getting built for the homeless. So, but yeah, I know there are some sections where they don't help them that much, especially up in Manila. Manila actually ships them out of Manila in some cases. Let's see, Lazy Larry Lee watching ads. Thank you guys. Glenn Hartwick, I am a new subscriber. Thanks for the information. Thank you, Glenn. Lazy Larry Lee, hi Sinfuls. Michael L. Didn't USAA sell all of its investment arm to Charles Schwab or Victory Capital? I'm not really sure, Michael. I don't know. Sinfuls, LOL, Steve. It seems to me not as much as should be housing homeless. Good if you heard better. Well, yeah, here in town, they went around and asked all the people that were not even homeless. They were housed in rental units, Sinfuls. And the thing is, the mayor's building homes for those people. If you put your name on the list and you don't own your own home, they're putting all these people in homes so they can have their own home. And you only have to pay like a small amount, and they'll help fund you with that. So I think that's kind of cool. You have to make small payments. If you continue making those payments, you're good. Sinful says, hi Larry. Sun Moon says, he is a misogynistic. I'm not going to judge the guy, okay? So you're not going to get me to say that because I haven't watched his channel, and but it's his channel, Barbara Calhoun, we thought about just depositing everything into local bank, then thought if we decide to go back to the U.S., all of our money would be in Philippine pesos, so we wanted the ability to have dollars available. Okay. I wouldn't deposit everything into a local bank here. I'd have some back in the U.S. Justin in Arkansas says some poor squatters who build along riverbanks and elsewhere get left alone by authorities for the most part. I don't know, Justin. That place on the way from General Trias there and from Dasma, I've seen some of those squatters' villages moved. Actually, during that flooding, they moved them all. They took them out of there and actually made a move. So I don't know where they moved them to, but they must have moved them somewhere. Glenn Hartwick says, is $2,200 US every month doable in the PH? Yes. You're in the sweet spot. 2,000 to 3,000 is a really good place to be, and more than that is even better. So, yes, and that still holds true even to today. But I'd rather see you higher than that if you can. I'd rather see you closer to the 3,000 than closer to the 2,000 with all the changes that are going on in the world. Okay, so Michael L says, and that sweet spot, when I say 2,000 to 3,000, obviously you're going to need a COLA in there. It's some sort of COLA or whatever, and you should save some of that too for the future, so that way you can keep that rolling. On that amount there, the 2,200, if you can save $400 a month, $300 a month, whatever, bank it, because when you get into the 70s, you're going to need that money for your insurance. Michael L says, I can confirm that in some places like Bulacan and Isabela, there are a substantial effort to house the homeless. See, that's what I'm saying. It depends on where you are. Sinful says, Barbara Calhoun, I transferred money here from my startup fund, but otherwise I do like Steve said, pulling out from the U.S. as needed. I think that's the best idea, to be honest with you. I just don't feel comfortable leaving all my money here in the Philippines. I just don't. People do. I don't. I just don't feel comfortable with the banks, and they only cover you up to a certain amount, so keep that in mind. That's why you don't do it over here. So, Dean says, we keep a dollar account and a peso account at BDO Bank. We transfer money from the U.S. each month into our dollar account and feed our peso account as needed. So that's a good idea. I like that idea, Dean. Dean Thompson, the Philippines, says works out well for us. Just don't go to the bank expecting to be a quick transaction. Yeah, and with the lines here especially. The Passport Bro says, I think the radio guy is just for comedy. It's just my style, but all comedy is that way. Could be. I mean, I don't know the guy enough. I've heard a couple people that actually liked his channel. They said, hey, did you watch this new guy, the regular guy? Some of the guys liked him. I don't know him well enough. I haven't watched him. I usually don't watch other channels because I think it kind of changes what I tried to put out. And I like just putting out what I put out. I don't follow what other ideas from other channels or whatever. I know some people, I did check a couple people one time because somebody said they were copying me almost word for word one time, one of the other vloggers. And when I watched it, they were actually walking in a park and talking about the same subjects that I talk about, almost word for word. And I was really, really kind of shocked when I saw that, but I thought it was funny. So, I mean, you know, but I don't mind if people copy my subjects. I think it's great that other people, you know, if they change it up and stuff like that. I welcome people to go off my subjects sometimes, but this guy here was stealing my stuff word for word, but whatever. You can't stop it, so. Glenn Hardwick, should I get Phil Health insurance? I have Medicare and TRICARE for life. If you got TRICARE, you should be okay over here, okay? So I would just go with that. You can also get a cheap insurance if you wanted to, Glenn, through Pacific Cross. Just get the bottom tier one. If you feel comfortable, it's cheap. It's like $1,000. I don't know what your age is, or less. It'd actually be less than $1,000. It'd be like around $400, probably $500. And you know, if it's just a quick thing you need to go in the hospital to get fixed, they'll probably cover it. Sinful says, Glenn Hartwick, I have a Maxicare card and a Medicare and a Medicard plan. They are great for services and cheap. Sinful swears by that, and I think Dean does too, if I remember right. Sinful's besides the high dollar plan for catastrophic coverage. That's great. Oscar Barragan says, if I open a Chase account in the U.S. and open one in the Philippines, would it be easy to transfer money, like enough to buy a house with my wife? Just do a wire transfer if you're going to do that, but don't forget that you have FATCA reporting and all that stuff too. So when you start sending large sums of money, you got to report it back, and if you don't, you can get large fines. So be aware of that, Oscar. You might have to fill out FATCA. I'm not sure. That's something you have to talk to a tax attorney back home about, okay? And you can probably read up online or go on YouTube, but I'm not up on FATCA, so I couldn't even help you with that. But you can transfer it, yes, but you have to report it in some cases. So I'll just say that. Dickie Spess is going to see a stampede of retirees leaving the States as they've lost 20% of their net worth due to inflation. You know, Dickie, I'm already starting to see that. The amount of SRRV holders are actually jumping. I'm seeing it because I'm getting the calls, and we've gotten a lot. And I've talked the other day, man, I was swamped with calls and emails and everything, and I've never seen that for a long time, and now it's starting to pick up. Mo Weems says, if Filipinos average $10 a day, wouldn't that make them envy expats who get $1,400 a month on average? Yes, but it's a different living. They live very different. It's more communal. And you have to remember that it's just a different type of living. Sinful says, Oscar Barragan, I have a U.S. Chase account and inquired the same. They are not the same Chase per se. Okay. Garrett Alarm Depot says, I have an SRRV that I had to put up with the PRA. How secure is this if you know? You're talking about the security accounts? I have an SRRV that I had to put up with the PRA. If you're talking about the security account, those are safe. Don't worry about that. There's no issue with that. I go to open those up probably like every week a few times, you know. And last week I went, and just a couple days ago, yesterday, was it yesterday? Yes, yesterday or the day before I went. And I helped a guy open an account there at Commerce Bank for his PRA account. And it's safe. It's safe. Don't, no worries. Sinful says, as long as the money's a known source, the FATCA issues are not an issue. Okay. James Wright says, morning, Steve and Sinfuls, below 0 Celsius here. Okay. Glad I'm not there, you know. Dickie Spaz says, what you see is what you get with the regular guy. He is pretty straightforward and doesn't try to hide anything. So it's kind of like my channel. He might have his own take on things, but I get it, Dickie. I'm just not going to comment on the guy. You know, I don't want to comment on somebody I don't know. And I mean, I understand people have different talks than I do. I don't go that way, so I just don't talk about it. I just stay off it and mind my business. You know, Sinful says, hi, James. Sorry, LOL. We don't touch too much on dating here. Occasionally we do a little bit. We talk some aspects of it, but we don't get into the dating and how to date and how to pick up girls and stuff like that. We talk about sometimes where it was a good place to go meet somebody, stuff like that, but I don't talk about all the aspects of the sexual stuff and stuff. I just don't go there. Dean Thompson, the Philippines, says, I use Maxicare for small things that the VA doesn't cover. TRICARE has many facilities and doctors approved here in the Philippines. Many of them will bill TRICARE direct. That's cool. TRICARE is a good thing to have over here, man. Celtic Nomad says, Steve, do you know are building materials reasonable there for an expat? I have been living in Bulgaria for 18 years. I moved from Oxford, left most of my money in UK, so we'll do the same in the Philippines. It's not, I wouldn't say it's cheap. I would say it's different. Building here and building in Western countries and Europe and places like that is totally different. Over here they use bricks and cement. So, I mean, I live in a beautiful house here. It's cement, and I'm happy with it. But for the most part, I would say most stuff is about the same as back home. Some things are cheaper, some things are more expensive. It depends on what you're looking for. But I wouldn't overall. I would say wood. Yeah, it's expensive. But other items like cement and stuff, it's fairly cheap here. Glenn Hartwick, do you have to be married to my Filipino girlfriend? Do I have to be married to my Filipino girlfriend before I file for my SRRV? No, you don't have to be. You can marry her after. And in fact, I recommend getting the SRRV rather than the other visas that you can get once you get married to a Filipino, because it lets you stay here. If you ever go through a divorce, God forbid, you can still stay here. So just something to think about. Sinful says, Glenn Hartwick, no, you can be single, guy. Marriage, nothing to do with SRV for courtesy. Exactly. Marriage has nothing to do with that. And no, you don't, you can add people later if you get married or whatever. But if it's a Filipina, you don't have to add her. Not that I know of. I don't think you should. You should have to, because if she has dual citizenship or something like that. Michael L says, at Glenn, only 13A require marriage. Yes. John Rocker, singles can get the SRRV visas. Yes, absolutely. Yes, most people are single. Very few are married. Some are, but no need to be married to get the SRRV visas. Sinful's Celtic Nomad, if you're doing your own build on your own lot, you could build yourself a nice home for $60K. Yes. Garrett Alarm Depot, WG, the Passport Bro, Celtic Nomad, depends. Wood frame building is not used much in the Philippines. Wood gets eaten up quick here by the termites, and I don't care where you are in the Philippines, it gets eaten by that or ants. I have done a lot of building and will be helping out testing some materials out there like compressed earth brick. That sounds interesting. John Ricker, banks here only insure about 8,000. I think it's 10,000 actually, John, but I could be wrong. Glenn Hartwick, thanks everybody. You're welcome, Glenn. Garrett Alarm Depot, where can you get get pinto beans for beans and cornbread? You could probably actually get that on Lazada. Lazada has a lot of stuff you can order and have delivered. If it's just a bag of beans, I would think that you could probably look that up on there and get that, or Shopee. Sinful says, John Rocker, insured to 500,000 PHP. Yeah, it's about 10,000, roughly, maybe a little. Not sure, somewhere around there. I'm not sure what the exchange would be on that, but it's pretty close. We got 83 people, 57 thumbs up. Thank you guys. Um, let's see, Celtic Nomad. Here's a question for you. Is it possible to buy shipping containers to build a beautiful bespoke home? Wonder if they would allow this here. Actually, Celtic Nomad, I saw one of these on, and we were just talking about this, on, guess what, Lazada. And I've looked them up online too, and yes, they do have them. Some of them are already pre-built, and they're not that expensive. So yes, you can. John Rocker says, try Shopee for beans and cornbread. See, just as I said, yes, you can even get cornbread mix on Shopee and places like that. Travel Discovery, they do have shipping container homes. You have to look it up. A friend of mine is thinking of doing it. So, actually, Travel Discovery, that would be a good thing for you to do a video on, because you actually can do stuff. That would be a good one for you to do a video on, because you're good at putting stuff like that together. Travel Discovery has a lot of good stuff on her channel. I talk about this quite often, and because I've watched her channel, and she has a great voice. She has $1 million voice for what she does on her channel, and she's well worth checking out. So check her out, and be sure to subscribe too. Sinful says, the PDIC provides a maximum deposit insurance coverage of 500,000 pesos per depositor per bank. It covers all types of bank deposits and banks for insurance purposes, all deposit accounts. Thanks, Sinfuls. Let's see. Glenn Hartwick says, this is my first live chat, and every question has been answered in less than 15 minutes. Thank you, man. Well, I try to answer every question. I'm not perfect, but if I can't answer it, usually Sinfuls can, or Dean, or one of the other guys, which is good. Oscar Paragon says, can you find fresh jalapenos? Yes, you can find jalapenos here. Some places have them. I was in the Philippines 6 months last year and could not find any. But you're talking about fresh ones, but you can also find them in the pickled ones too. I actually have some in the refrigerator right here. Dean Thompson in the Philippines. I bought vanilla wafers to make banana pudding with, and it cost me $20 for 3 boxes. But God, that pudding was good. I actually love vanilla wafers. Let's see. Cam the Cook says, has the topic of expat kings came up yet? Angeli's city vlogger, who was a little or a lot creepy. Not yet. I'm not quite sure what you're talking about, Cam the Cook. We're actually gonna do a video about like some of the worst expats here. We have a lot of, we have alcoholics here and sexpats and stuff like that. And I want to do a video about narcissistic expats, and it's kind of an interesting subject because I've been reading up on it lately, and I'm going to do a video on it pretty soon. And a lot of you guys will probably get a good laugh out of it, because some of the terminology that they use when talking about the expats, but not just narcissistic people, like narcissistic expats. When they talk about the people that hang around with them, the terminology is really funny. They call them flying monkeys. So it's kind of interesting. So we're going to talk about that, because I learned a lot by reading up on it and watching YouTube videos about it recently, and it's really fascinating. And I think it's a good video. Make a great vlog, and I'm going to cover that pretty soon. Michael says, Celtic Nomad, rakia olives and good cheese will be hard to find in the Philippines. Yes, you can find olives here. I find olives. The Passport Bro says, Celtic, yes you can, but the roads are small and hard to move. Lazy Larry Lee, Celtic, Rod from Amazing Philippines did a video on shipping container homes a couple years back. We talked about them a while back, and also about some other types of housing, different housing. Some people live on boats and things like that. And also you can, if you want to look into something, look into what they call shanty homes. You just get big pontoons or triple pontoons or whatever, and you build on a lake somewhere in the Philippines, or along a river or something like that, and you can live on that. People do. And I think the Philippines would be a great place to do something like that, because you can build some nice homes on those. They might be small, but they're they're nice homes. Sinfuls, I wouldn't want to be on them though during a typhoon or something, unless you had it tied up good. But you know, you wouldn't have to worry too much about flooding, but you would the winds, I think. Sinful says Cam the cook still jailed, I believe. Oh, you're talking about the German guy? Okay, I haven't heard anything more about that except for that day that everything broke. Alan Ricky says someone else will hire you to build their dream if you don't build yours. Elon Musk. That's true. You know. Glenn Harwick says, can I bring vegetable seeds over here to start a garden? You can buy them here. And almost everything you need in the Ace Hardware. Or will that be illegal? I think carrying vegetable seeds would probably be illegal, Glenn. I'm almost sure. Okay, but I'm not up on what you can take in here, but I know anything like seeds and stuff like that, they're very picky about. So I would not take them in here. I'd order everything from in country. Okay. Celtic Nomad says, Michael L. Ha ha ha. Been there, done that. Got the t-shirt. It's now time to move on. 12-month sunshine state. Sinful says, Glenn Harwick, all plants, planting materials, fruits, and vegetables, regardless of quantity, requires an import permit. Yeah, just like I thought. Needs to be declared upon arrival. So you guys really need to be careful with seeds. I know they're very, very picky on stuff like that. You know, that's why I say I'm pretty sure you can't take that stuff in here. I just ordered some seeds online. Actually, I ordered onion seeds, and I just got them the other day. I'm thinking about planting those pretty soon. Celtic Nomad says, Sinful, thanks, buddy. Sinful says, Celtic Nomad, you're welcome. Glenn Hartwick, is that expensive? I'm not sure what you refer. Let's see. The fees for that you're talking about? I'm not sure. We're not. I don't know what the fees are for that, but or if you can get them in here, you might not just. Some things are just outright banned, so be careful of that, Glenn. Glenn says, okay, I will just get everything when I'm there. Thanks. Yes, most of that stuff you can get here. Tomatoes, lettuce, all that stuff you can get here. Onion seeds. Be careful of ordering online stuff that comes from China, because they do ship you stuff from China, but it might be genetically modified or something like that. So be careful. RLV, festive mood in Binondo City of Manila, Banawe, Quezon City, Chinese New Year. Travel Discovery, do you order food much through any apps? Yes, I do. Oh, quite often, actually, over here. I order pizza. Today I ordered from SNR. I ordered it's almost like a calzone from them. It's got cheese and bacon and chicken. But it wasn't that good today. I'm not sure why. Sinful's fees for what? I think he's talking about fees to get stuff in here, like plants and seeds and stuff like that. Rich, I'm thinking that's what he was talking about. So, because I think some things you can get in if you pay fees, but I think you have to register those things or whatever, but I think most stuff is just outright banned. Kaparn says, I think everyone is thinking of growing onions. Next year there will probably be a glut. Probably, yeah. So, hold on a second, guys. John Clark, Steve, voting is something I haven't heard bloggers speak much. I actually have talked about that. If you go back in my videos, I think I talked about it twice. Can you own a small powerboat or Sea-Doo and have place to dock it without towing it back and forth? Yes, some places you can, sure, but I would be worried about theft. You'd have to lock it up or something like that. But yeah, this place is, depending on where you live and everything. As far as voting, you can go online, you can vote online. Dean Thompson, the Philippines, if you do happen to have any of those seeds, keep that information to yourself. Never know who could be listening, not worth the trouble. Yeah, these ones here were shipped from in the Philippines, though, I believe. I think they were shipped from Manila. But yes, if you get seeds from China, man, you don't want to grow them. You know, so be very careful. But these here came from Manila, so that I do know, because it came within a day. John Clark, boating, not voting. Oh, okay, boating, yes. Actually, I just passed by the docks the other day at the yacht club up in Manila. I was just checking out the boats up. There's plenty of boating, no problem. Glenn Hartwick, my girlfriend has never heard of container gardening, so this will be a treat for her to see. Okay. Ed Lawler says, I have 2 jet skis. I just tow back and forth. It's the Philippines, not much docking outside of Cebu and Manila. No, there's not. Most places don't have much docking, but if it's like on a lake or something like that, you probably could. But a lot of the lakes around here, I wouldn't want to be riding around on something like that. Maybe around Tal would. So in Tagaytay, Tal Lake's beautiful in some sections, but the water's a little bit murky there. Not real murky, but you could see a little bit. Sinful says, I came in at 4:45 a.m. and I expected to pay a lot to customs based on my declaration. The guy at the desk waved me on and told me to go outside. Yeah, I found the same thing when I came in 5 years ago. The guy didn't even bother checking me. Michael L says, did you hear about the PAL crew? Yeah, busted for importing 11 kilograms of onions. That was interesting. But they're not going to do anything to them, which is, I don't think they should either. But they should have known better. Sinful says, Michael L, yes, LOL, they without jobs now. Did they lose their jobs? I didn't hear that part, but I know the government was going to do anything to them. But that's kind of sad that they lost their jobs. All over onions, yes. Dean Thompson in the Philippines, crazy times, huh? I mean, think about that, you know. And Sinful says, I thought they were losing their jobs. And see, but Sinful says, Michael L, yes, LOL, they without jobs now. Okay. Let's see, Glenn Hartwick says, I have always had a green thumb. We'll try to raise a community garden to say hello to my new community. You know, Glenn, we have actually have a community garden right across the street from me, right across from the mayor's house. Interesting little places, but it's right across from the mayor's house, and it's a nice little garden over there, and it's for the elderly, and they do a really, really good job over there. Let's see. Sinful says it gets newsinfo.inquirer.net. They won't be charged. I did not know that. That was interesting. So we're up at about 66 minutes. We're doing pretty good here. If you guys want to keep rolling for another 15 minutes or more, I'm more than game to keep on going. Let's see, 82 people, 67 thumbs up. So if you guys want to keep the conversation going here, let's see, because we just hit the dead end here, but I'm willing to go a little bit further if you guys are. Will Crow seems to be building a marina to Western standards might be a good business idea. Yes, it would be. You are right on that. RLV says, if you're in BGC uptown area, visit the Japanese mall. Mitsukoshi, that sounds interesting. Celtic Nomad, also the Venice mall is beautiful, man. I love that mall. Still haven't seen all that mall yet. I would like to go see all that mall. Celtic Nomad always wanted to build a bamboo house that would be a dream. Not blowing my own trumpet, but I am sure it would be a nice, inexpensive home. There in the past, in the UK, have had clients, movie actors, etc. I gotta tell you something about a lot of you guys know I have the bamboo cabanas out here. The bamboo, because of the moisture, after a while turns black, and you have to keep up on it really a lot. And if you want to keep it looking like brand new, you have to sand it every 8 months or something like that, and redo it. And what some people do is they paint it after a while. It looks terrible after you paint it, even if you color it bamboo. But the painting ends up being the only way to really protect it. So be careful what you wish for. I like my bamboo homes, the cabanas out there, but that is a problem with bamboo homes also, the moisture and also bugs, and things can get in very easy too. Sinful says RLV, yes, I've seen that I want to go there. John Clark says, thanks so much for voting answers, guys. No problem. Glenn Hardwick says, I just want to build a positive life here in Bill-Oran when I get there in March and April. Edward Lawler says, Will Crow, not enough boat owners for a marina. That's a Western thing for peeps with money. I'm not so sure about that. I think there's quite a few boats here. There's not a lot, but they're mostly homemade boats. But even the Filipino boats are pretty well made. You know, they hold up pretty good out at sea. ROV, yep, at Sinful's, try it, turning Japanese. Sinful's ROV, LOL, turning Japanese, okay. I remember that song, too. Dean Thompson in the Philippines, I think we need to put together an overnight trip to a good resort. I think it'd be a great time. Dean, I'm actually working on a day trip here pretty soon. I know you probably won't go down to Barracuda again. I think Sinful said the same. I'm not. I can't. As I recollect anyway. But we are going to do a Barracuda one. We are going to do one with an overnight. Probably at some point. I'm just not sure when. If it'll be this year or the year after. But I do want to do something where we do it overnight. Okay, so I'll let you guys know when we get together. We'll talk about that more. Hopefully we can actually let's do a dinner sometime this month, where just a few of us get together and we can sit and chat. But I still haven't had time to get over to the place to check the pool hall, to let you guys know. I'm gonna look into that. Glenn Hartwick says my girlfriend's parents said I can stay with them until I get married and find a place for us. That's cool. Sinful says the vapors. Yeah. Let's see, the passport bro. Celtic, find a way to contact me. I'm a builder. Just want to do volunteer building over there. Would like to talk more about possibilities. RLV. Let's see, Dean says maybe a trip to Laia. I'm willing to go on a trip too. I'm not sure. I'd like to do something. I was thinking actually more in line with Mindoro, just to let you guys know. So don't go on any trips to Mindoro. I think Dean already has. I'm not sure. But I was thinking about doing like an overnight or a 2-day trip to Mindoro and taking a van or something like that over there and booking someplace over there. So maybe we can do that as our next trip. Maybe we can get 2 van loads of people and do something like that. That'd be great. And it'd be comfortable too. RLV Sinfuls, yes. You us, we're suckers for 80s music. I think all of us are. That's one thing I love about the Philippines, man. They're stuck in the 80s and 70s and 90s. You know, they really are, and I love that they are stuck there. Because when I came here in the 80s, the same music is playing on the radio today. I remember when I came here, they had, what was it? The Jets. The Jets were playing on the radio all the time. And it was actually kind of a nice song, but they overplayed it so much. By the time I left the Philippines in the 80s, I was burned out on it. Celtic Nomad, what area you been living? What area you be living here? I am wanting to build a house. Yeah, Sinfuls wants to build a house too. Celtic Nomad, I know it's looking to the future with 40 years construction business in the UK. I would help expats with quality house builds. That's pretty good. You guys should try to get in touch with each other. Sinfuls, Celtic Nomad, yes, quality Western standards. Sinfuls, I take my truck, LOL. Glenn Hardwick, thank you for such an informational channel. I'm hooked. Hi from Missouri. Thanks, Glenn. I appreciate it. We appreciate all you guys. You know that. Sinfuls says, Glenn Hardwick, thanks. Lazy Larry Lee, I love the 60s and the early 70s. James Wright, visiting Philippines, April is Boracay Beach recommended. Yes, I love Boracay. I was there back in the 80s when it was like Gilligan's Island, and actually it wasn't far from it. Now they get they used to have a Pizza Hut there that was literally a Pizza Hut, and now they have the Pizza Hut, McDonald's, and all the other stuff there. Sinful says, Lazy Larry Lee, first wave. Dean says, the Philippines is still 50 years behind the times. Yes, it is. It's such a nice change of pace from the States. I kind of like that because it kind of, I think, even though here we are in the twilight of our years, so I don't like to think of it that way, but I mean, when you think about it, it's kind of living like back in the 80s again, and it's kind of cool living like that. It's fascinating, actually. And we can even, date younger if we wanted to, in 20s and 30s or whatever, and here we are in our 60s and 70s, 50s, 60s, and 70s. Celtic Nomads, the Sinfuls only decided to move to Philippines like 1 month ago, so we'll be in touch with you guys. Sinful said, yes, definitely stay on the channel, Celtic. Join us on Saturdays, okay? Sinful says, Steven5975@yahoo.com. Steve's email. Yeah, if you guys ask me for information on Sinfuls, I'll pass along his email. RLV from Sinatra, Monroe, Beatles, 70s rock, 80s rock, pop music. Let's see, Sinful says, I am Floyd, Zeppelin, and Rush fan. That's about the same as me. I love Rush. I love Led Zeppelin. Zeppelin's really good. I love Queen, all that stuff. Let's see, Lazy Larry Lee, Celtic, look around for the best place for you to live. Let's see. All right, we're going to go off here in about 5 minutes, guys. So I will still read another 5 minutes worth of the questions on here. We're up to about 88 and 72 thumbs up. But thank you guys for joining me tonight. But we'll keep this going if we get some more stuff on here. So you guys are talking about music tonight. I was actually watching some good music today. Somebody playing some of the music from the 80s. I forget what it was. There's some girl on there. She was playing Aha. You know, remember that song Take On You or something like that, I think it was called. Steven says, retired 35, vet 35, thinking about moving to Duma or Cebu. If you like being around expats in large quantities, that's the place to go, and having high prices, I would recommend picking different places. There's so many places near Manila that are just as good, or not far from Manila, or 2 or 3 hours away from Manila, and you still get clean water, either up north or down south. Stephen retired, let's see, Ken's Backroad Travels, hello. 58-year-old here, good shape, $2,000 a month retirement with $10,000 in savings, and I decided to get Pacific Cross with Mike. I've been to Philippines 4 times, longest 3 months. Do you think that's enough? I think so, yes. I would, with the $2,000 a month, I would still try to build up your $10,000 in savings. As long as you have that Pacific Cross, you should be good. But I would definitely try to save some of that money each month for when you get older in your 70s, because your insurance is going to go up in costs. Sinful says, I have my iPod in my truck, and I have 4,500 songs plus my Tidal account. Let's see. I actually have Apple. I love Apple. Glenn Howard, did you see Zeppelin reunion concert? I did see one of the older ones. I didn't know they had a newer one. Let's see. Lazy Larry Lee says Eagles, Rolling Stones, Bob, something. I can't see the end. RLV, Led Zeppelin were gods here. Led Zeppelin was definitely great. They have that other group there. It sounds like Led Zeppelin. I'm trying to remember the name of them. I'll try to put it up. Somebody asked me next week to remind me, and I'll look it up. But they're from California, I think, and they sound just like Zeppelin. And I can't think of the name of the band, and I have them on my thing, in my music too. Fantastic band. Even Robert Plant says, wow, their voice sounds a little familiar. And the guitarist, man, he plays like Jimmy Page too. I wish I could think of the name of the band. And their music is almost spot on. Like if Led Zeppelin come out with another album, it would be like listening to their album. Let's see. Take On Me was this. Yeah, was the title of that song. Sinful says Celtic Nomad. There is a quality builders here. Just have to search them out. Yes, Dickie Spaz says if you like Rush, check out Why Not on YouTube. About as close as you can get. Great musicianship. I love Rush. I saw Rush in concert. They're fantastic. Sinful says Michael L. Aha was the band. Yes. Ken's Backroad Travels. Honey, I'm on Ken's Backroad Travels. I've been trying to save more, but here it's impossible. Sinfuls. Dickie Spaz. I have heard of them. Lazy Larry Lee. Dickie, when I was in the Philippines, the bands were fantastic. Sun Moon. I'm not your... Let's see. I'm your age, but every Filipino I've dated there in her late 30s always pressured me to have a child. Okay. Steven, thanks. I'll be going to pick I'll going to pick Dumaguete and travel on the weekends to other islands. Yes, that's okay. Renee Jimenez says, oh, haha. Love that music video. It was actually a good music video. Yes, it was. Simple says Zeppelin Live is the band. No. Simple, this is a band that doesn't play Led Zeppelin music, and I can't remember the name of the band. I play their stuff all the time. For some reason, I'm having a blank tonight. I'll look it up next week. They're all brothers, I think. One set of twins. You know, one guy's not a brother, and the other three are, and one set of twins in the band too. So, okay, very interesting. Simple says a cover band. Yeah, this is not a cover band. Celtic Nomad says Bad Company, Deep Purple guys. Seen Rush 4 times. Rush is phenomenal. Deep Purple, Black Sabbath, Idols here. Creedence Clearwater, Kings here. Kingdom Come, RLV, seen Sabbath. I seen Ozzy and Motley Crue. And I've seen AC/DC and a lot of bands. Quiet Riot, phenomenal band. Quiet Riot, I saw when they were first breaking out, and they were just, they'd come on Feel the Noise, man. They were a loud band, and they came out on the stage just, it was unbelievable the way they came out. It wasn't like any other rock band. They just come out just crashing into things and stuff. It was kind of funny watching them come out. John Bergeron, how much is a hectare on a beach here within like 3 miles from a city? It varies. I mean, I really couldn't put a price on that. Ed Denoy, Guns N' Roses? No. This is a band that's actually pretty popular today. I wish I could find the name of them. Michael says, vasectomy for the win, no kids for me. However, a lot of Filipino are single mom who tried to hide the fact until they're in a relationship, so be careful. Yes, that's true. Sinful says, I partied with Molly Hatchet, ha ha ha. Let's see. Anthony Thompson, hello from Dallas, Texas. Celtic Nomad, Aerosmith saw live. Michael Elst, seen Rush multiple times in concert, always a great show. Ken's Travel Roads, you talking about the band Greta Van Fleet? Yes, there's the band. That's the band. Do me a favor, if you guys like Led Zeppelin, go on YouTube and watch Greta Van Fleet. And if you want to see, that's a really great band. And Robert Plant loves them also. Yes, he does. But I just want to put this out there also. If you like drum solos, watch the Godsmack Drum Duel. Okay, it's actually a drum duel, not a drum solo. It's phenomenal. Godsmack Drum Duel. Look it up, and you guys will say, man, that's the best drum duel I've ever seen, because it just is. Dean Thompson says, Blue Oyster Cult. I've actually seen Blue Oyster Cult. Winger, Bullet Boys, Whitesnake. I think I've seen Whitesnake open for somebody one time. Glenn Harwick, I saw Metallica when I was in Germany in 1992, one of my favorite. I had drinks with Larry Bird. Let's see, Dickie Spell says, Greta Van Fleet sounds real familiar to Zeppelin. Yes, they do. Celtic says, great British band Thunder. Sinful says, Glenn Hartwick, Metallica is great. I saw Iron Maiden, which is pretty good too. Dean Thompson in the Philippines, thanks. I'm really interested in Dumaguete. It's so much smaller and less congested. RLV says, would like to watch rock concerts in the 70s in PH theaters. I wish they would put music like that in the theaters. That'd be cool. John Clark planning on visiting this spring, but you can go on YouTube and there's so many concerts on there. John Clark is planning on visiting this spring, but torn between Duma and Southern Manila. Can you recommend good places to stay in Southern Manila, Southern Manila? Wow. I would say Alabang's a great place to stay. It has a lot going on there. And there's a lot of hotels there. Our area is nice too. It's just that there's not a lot of hotels here. There is, but they're expensive, and I don't think that they're worth the charge that they charge you. Simple says, holier than thou, sad but true. Michael Ellis' old Metallica was good. They just put out a new song. I can't remember the name of it though. I saw it today listed. Dean Thompson in the Philippines. Anthony Thompson, hello brother, glad you're here. Sun Moon says Kingdom Come is the name of the band. Let's see. Ken's Backroad Adventures says Godsmack is the only new rock I listen to. Seen them several times. Very awesome band. Godsmack's actually from my area. They're from Lawrence and Haverhill. And I think they're from Lower New Hampshire now. They live in Lower New Hampshire, I believe. Sully Erner actually went to the school that I worked at. He went to the Tarbox School in Lawrence, Massachusetts. So I love that band. Let's see here. Michael, you guys are typing fast here. Dickie Spess says Dume equals Epstein Island full of broke expats, not representative of the Philippines. No, it's not. Dean Thompson, the Philippines. Stephen, you're retired, so be happy. You always have friends in this group if you need assistance. Thanks, Dean. I always appreciate that. I think you're talking to me. Oh, you're talking to the other Stephen, I think. Another Stephen. Okay, I don't know. Dickie Spaz says, my opinion only. Okay, you're talking to the Stephen here. Okay, I got it. I thought you were talking to me. I'm like, that's strange. Stephen, they changed the tourist visa. We can renew online. Yes, you can. They must have just. I know they were doing. They had put it out that they were going to implement that, so they must have did it already. You don't have to go to the BOI, right? Oh, you asked me the question here. I'm not sure. Because like I said, I don't do the tourist thing. But yes, they are going to renew online. So they'll probably let us know. I believe that's going to start in February. That was what I heard last. So, but that when they say something like that, usually they roll it out and it takes another month to get the bugs out. So just be aware. Celtic Nomad, check out Flesh Band, good friends of mine, very talented. Say hi to them from Celtic. Sinful says, Stephen, that is worked. Let me see. That is being worked out. I don't think it is active yet. Okay, that's good to know. I heard it was going to be in February, and usually that means March. I just renewed mine, went to BI. Stephen L says, Stephen, only for 30 days at a time. Okay, that's good to know. Thanks, Michael, for that. RLV, you can smell weed inside theaters while playing rock concerts of Led Zeppelin. Yes. I remember going to Pink Floyd, man, everybody was lighting up. Sinful's Michael L. I just got my 6-month renewal. Steven says Dean Thompson in the Philippines. Thanks. Yes, I will need friends. Yeah, Steven, man, if you come to the Philippines, come to this area, and you can get in our group and you'll have a great group of people to hang out with. We have a really good dinner group that we have get together, and great people in that group. And I keep it that way. I protect those people the most. There's people that have asked to get into it, and I know that they wouldn't fit in, so I didn't let them in. I've had not too many people, maybe probably like about 7 total, out of several hundred that have asked to get in there. Some people just don't show up, but I think our largest crowd was 54. Let's see. Dickie Spez says Sully Erner's well-rounded musician. Yes, Dick. Sully is actually he's a awesome person too. They say he actually dated Lady Gaga. A lot of people don't know that, and they're still good friends. They kind of think in the same lines as far as their thinking. And I was when I studied up a little bit about Lady Gaga one time. I says, man, Sully Erna would be perfect for her because they have the same thought process and stuff like that. I've seen Sully talk and stuff like that. He's quite an interesting guy. I've seen some of his interviews and stuff like that, and he is definitely interesting. He's an older guy, but he looks younger. Celtic Nomad says fleece, not flesh. Okay. Big Time 911 says good night. I'm gonna let you guys go. Let's see. Steven says, okay, thanks. I was looking for a place in General Trias on Facebook Marketplace. General Trias is right next to me, man. So if you come here, let me know. And there's certain places you want to stay away from over there too. Let me know. You can email me at Steven5975 Steven, and ask me for my phone number. We can talk. Okay. Steven says along with Doomer and Cebu. I'd stay away from Doomer and Cebu because when you come here to this area, you have a lot more resources and things you can get here, and foods and restaurants, and even Alabang is nice too, or around Alabang. Renee Jimenez says Expat King got banned finally. I'm gonna say goodnight, guys. Let's see. I'll answer this. Celtic. See how far are you from Dumageddon? I'm far. That's south of me, way far, a different island. JT says have a good night. Sinful Celtic Nomad, 500 to 600 kilometers. Lazy Larry Lee says take care of yourself. Stay safe, healthy. Let's see. We will call it a night, guys. But God bless, guys. Take care, okay? And we will be on here probably next week. If I'm not on here next week, then we'll be on the week after as usual, okay? But we will see you guys soon. God bless. Take care. And thank you to Rich for helping.